kind of a beautiful little spot down here at the old lake, huh?
It's beautiful. It's super peaceful. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how we can get so caught up in bullshit and stressed out and in our daily lives, and we just got to hop in the pickup and head down the 2-lane highway, huh?
Yes.
It makes all the difference in the world to get away from everything you're used to and do something different, change your surroundings. You know, that's one thing about this life, you know, this life comes down to us. It comes down to our choice. I can't help you, I can't fix you, I can't make you do anything. And you can't make me do anything. It comes down to an individual choice. It comes down to kind of taking over your thought life and managing it, just like anything in life. You know, we go work out all the time, we run, we exercise, but we also need to be exercising our mind, our thought life, huh? Our emotions. Because our life is full of emotions. That's what life is. And we have to recognize when they're bad emotions and when they're good emotions. And every thought is wrapped in an emotion. And we have to run that through that, hold every thought captive and run it through a filter and determine if that emotion is good or bad. When you look at right here, look how peaceful this is. Look at the old wooden dock over here. We could just totally foul that up, huh?
Yes.
And we've done it, haven't we?
I'm guilty.
So am I. We're guilty together.
Right.
Taking something beautiful and making a real mess out of it.
Right.
Don't you think getting out in nature kind of changes everything though?
It does. It brings it back to reality. Makes you stop and think about the small things in life and what matters the most.
Cottonwoods are nice, huh?
They're beautiful. Listen to the leaves blowing.
I know.
The birds are chirping. Nature's awesome.
You know, and you have
Super
to,
peaceful.
and you have to have a culture to you, huh? If you don't have a culture to you, you don't have nothing. You just kind of blow around like this cotton off one of these trees. You know, you're all over the place. You have no metal to you, and that's what faith culture stands for. Have a culture to you, and whatever it is in life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's racing dirt bikes, whether it's rodeoing, stock car racing, relationships, stay in the race. That's what this checkered flag means. Stay in it. You know, a lot of times we want to point the blame at everybody else. You know, I want to point the blame at Judy or whatever, but if we're honest with ourselves, and that's what it comes down to, is being brutally honest and staying in the race. It's real easy to get off the track and feel like you're justified, but you got to stay in the race. And that's what our checkered flag represents. And we say it time and time again, our war cry is defeat and overcome. And how are you going to defeat and overcome if you're living a life of fear? We were made unique. We were given the spirit of power. We're made to be bold and fearless, not fearful. You have, and that's the two choices you have. You have the choice to follow truth or follow fear. Those are your two choices. You can either live a life of doubts, or you can live a life of victory, huh? It's easy to get caught up being a victim, isn't it?
Yeah, very easy. Yes. Super easy to be a victim.
And there's only
It's easier to be a victim than it is a victor.
You know what? And that's a really good point Judy makes. It's so easy to think wrong. It's so much easier to be a victim than it is to be a victor. It's just the way our mind works. You know, we have three enemies in this world. We have a spiritual enemy, or better known as Satan. We have the world itself, what we think we should be like. I should look like you. You should act like me. You should think like me. And we have ourselves. Those are the enemies. So it's so easy to do the wrong thing. It's so easy to get out of the race. And it's so easy to be defeated rather than defeat and overcome. It's so easy to be defeated. So you You have to go to war. You have to go to battle. You have to live a life of truth and follow truth, not doubt and fear. And those are your two choices. And a lot of times, we live this, nobody's ever perfect. It's like we go back and forth, right? We kind of live in fear, and then we kind of jump back to truth. And the idea is, you know, it's hard to be perfect at anything and everything all the time, but and we are going to have fear introduce our lives. But the secret's not living there, huh? Not being there. Not ruining this. Not ruining going down a 2-lane highway in your Chevy, having an awesome conversation, and it going to crap because of your crappy thinking. So your choices are follow truth or be led by fear, huh? And it's real easy to be led by fear when you follow your emotions. Now, we have God-given emotions, and every thought is an emotion. But what I'm talking about is identifying the bad emotions and the good emotions. And every emotion that we have, we make choices and decisions off of, and we begin to think on that. We begin to focus on that. And really the only difference between faith and fear, or living or being truthful, is what you focus on. That's really what it comes down to, is your focus. It's just like riding motocross. If you're riding a rutted track, if you're focusing on that rut and you're not looking forward, you're gonna get sucked into a bad position. Before you know it, you're gonna be eating dirt. And that's the way life is. It's what are you focusing on? Are you looking ahead, or are you looking down? You got to be looking ahead. You got to be moving. And if you're sitting around on the couch playing the victim mentality or not accepting responsibility, you're going to live a life of defeat, and you are going to be a victim, huh?
That's right. Exactly.
And that crap can carry on for years, huh?
Yes. A long time. You have to just push ahead. You have to, no matter what life throws at you, it could be tough sometimes. Life is tough, honestly.
It is.
Life is super tough, you know, and you just have to keep pushing forward.
You gotta be tougher, huh?
That's right. It's no different than you look at these trees right here. You think, how many storms have they weathered? You know what I mean? And just, they've stood their ground. They're still standing. You know, we were out here last night at the lake with all of your family, and you know, the windstorm come up and it's 80 miles an hour, and you just think, you know, some of the leaves blew off of them, but they held their roots. They held, you know, and that's what life is about. It's just, like you always talk about, it's just going back to your foundation. You know, we sometimes get away from our foundation, and then we're at the top of those trees and we're just blowing in the wind. But if you stay at the root, you're grounded. Right,
yeah. I mean, if you don't have a good root system, you're just going to topple. You're going to fall down. Mm-hmm. And that's the way our life is. If you don't have a good foundation and you're not following truth, if you're following fear, you're going to have a poor root system. But if you have good, strong roots, and what makes good, strong roots? What makes good, strong roots is what thinking about what you think about. What is it you're thinking about? What is the emotion you're having? Is it good or bad? And what makes these trees strong is having strong roots. And we have to have strong roots. We have to have a solid foundation, and we build that solid foundation off identifying and taking full responsibility of what we're thinking about, and not passing the blame on other people. I can't change what you do. I can't determine if you're going to go out and do something bad or whatever the case is. That's your choice. That's your decision. No different than it's my decision. And I can't blame you for that. But in a relationship, two people have to be honest with themselves and be thinking about what they're thinking about and making the right choices, and two people come together and make something awesome. But no different in racing or rodeoing or racing cars, or maybe you're into fitness, whatever it is. If you lose your focus, you may go out there and you may be putting in 30-minute motos and practice sessions, but if your head ain't together, it's going to fall apart during the race. Or if you're in great shape, you could be in the best shape of your life, but you could be a real mess inside. Mm-hmm. You know, you may look good in front of the mirror and you may look good in clothes, but man, inside, you're falling apart, huh?
Right.
So